This video is sponsored by Big Boy Gaming. Follow the link in the description below for all of your card gaming needs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. It's that time of the year again. We're here to do another Edison format tier list. I'm joined by teammates Austin Butcher and team co-captain Justin Morgan, and we have a lot of decks that we're going to put into different categories today for you guys. Starting out all the way at the top, which is going to be Bro. This deck is gas. Followed by You're Cooking, Bro. And then, He's Not My Real Brother, He's Adopted. What are you doing, Step Bro? And finally, Bruh. That's Dog Water. So, lots of different categories that we're going to be placing these decks into. And without further ado, let's get started on this thing. First up is Amaryllis. How do you guys feel about Amaryllis?
I think it's You're Cooking, Bro.
We did put... I'm sorry, Austin, go ahead.
I mean, I think it's still super underexplored, and I think the reason being is because it's just a really expensive deck. But I think it could be a deck that could really climb up for the rest of the year, especially if we get a reprint of Amaryllis. But
yeah, I think so too. I think like that the $40 price tag on Amaryllis definitely is gatekeeping people from picking the deck up.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Like, I feel like it's like Dragon Turbo. Like, more people can afford the deck right now, they play it.
Yeah,
but it's super forward, and I think it could really evolve.
Yeah, last time we put this deck in Exquisite Wiener, which was A tier. And we putting it in Your Cooking, Bro this time. Still about the same spot. I think it's definitely like the top of Your Cooking, Bro, though. Like, it is almost S tier. It is so close.
I agree with that. I feel like there's a few decks on this year that could be on the rise, and I feel like this is really one of them.
Yeah, if you're part of Team Little Man YGO specifically, this deck is like on like it's like in between. It is so close to being S tier. Those guys are crazy with Amaryllis, so... yeah, I'm fine with putting that in Your Cooking, Bro. Because, I mean, there's been several events that Amaryllis could have won. It's like come down to Amaryllis and Vayu several times this year. All right, well, next up we have X-Sabers.
That goes on, bruh.
Bruh, I don't think it's bruh.
It doesn't have the support it needs. And
dude, I think it's What Are You Doing, Step Bro. Like, it can play, but it's just not great.
Yeah, Butcher's trying to put like he's trying to put my X-Sabers down here in like the same category as like Morphtronics or something. Put some respect on Emmer's Blade, man. What are you doing?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the guys I want the deck, but I feel like we all like want it to be good. But deep down, we all know it's bruh. It's like it's not
I
good.
will say the only time that I have like literally never lost to Blackwing was when I was playing X-Saber. Bruh. Because that deck plays triple econ, triple book. So you're like, what is Kalut?
I mean, I get that.
I definitely think it's playable. Like, you could... I don't think you're gonna win an Ultimate Time Wizard or top with it, but you could probably win your locals with it. Oh, I'll put some respect on OX Saber. Okay, so Chain Burn. Where do you guys feel like Chain Burn goes? I just want to put it in bruh so people don't play it.
I mean, I agree with that, but honestly, I think it's like middle of the tier. Like,
He's Not My Real Brother, He's Adopted.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it goes like somewhere in the middle of that. Like, it can be really good, but it can also it can ruin your day if you play against it, for one.
Yes, if you are playing frogs, you're gonna have a hard time against Chain Burn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much room for the deck to evolve to be any better than it is. I feel like it's like the peak of what Chain Burn could be in any format.
Yeah, I think with especially like the Frog Slicer build that plays like Jester Confit, Cyber Valley, all of that, I think it probably just hit its ceiling. Okay, Fish OTK.
I think it's in the same boat as Chain Burn.
I think
I
so
agree.
too. I think the deck is actually good, but it just makes my head explode trying to play it. I think that the better that you are at the game, the better you are at the game, the better you can pilot decks in general. But I do think this deck completely comes down to its pilot.
I agree, and I feel like sometimes you got to separate that. Like we can't just look at James Ark and be like, "Oh, he plays this deck amazing," and then like want to put this deck in a higher ceiling than it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's S tier. If we were ranking players, he's S tier, but the deck, it's just not S tier. It's middle of the pack to below average.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we could put that in he's not my real brother, he's adopted, because it is another deck that plays frogs, so it's like immediately consistent in what it does. It's like kind of hard to play frogs and it not be like at least decent. So I think that's a good place for this one to live. Flamville.
It depends on the build. Like I guess Flamville's played with like the Gravekeeper package a lot.
Yeah.
Like almost there's like Flamville Zombie. Um, I think Flamville is what are you doing, Step Bro?
We're gonna put this above or below X Saber. I think it's above.
I think it's above depending on the build. Like if you're playing like a cat build or a Gravekeeper build like that,
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely above X
I
Saber.
feel I feel like the deck like is just a worse version of Synchro Cat.
Yeah, it really does suck that you have to play like at least double, if not triple, Magician, and if you draw them, they just don't really do anything.
Yeah, and then like oh my goodness. What's the quick play spell that's really good? I forgot
Hmm.
the name of it.
Quick
What's
play
it do?
Yeah.
spell?
Oh, it's the Rekindling.
Rekindling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
just a
Rekindling is
normal spell.
Rekindling is really good.
Yeah,
But like outside of that power play, I feel like the deck just lacks.
Yeah, also too, the level 8s in Edison format are all kind of bad, except for like Dark End Dragon specifically.
Yeah, and
There's
Stardust.
none of them that like are really great. And even Stardust is like only good if you are like protecting stuff with it. So I'm okay with putting this in What Are You Doing, Step Bro? I think that's a good spot. Gemini.
I feel like this goes below X Sabers.
I don't know. I think it takes a really good pilot. Um, I think once you get popping with Gemini and like you get Ultimate Offering established, the deck is very hard to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. It definitely it came out, kind of had its time in the sun. It's not quite as popular of a strategy as it was. I can definitely see how the deck definitely does have its issues. I've played against it several times. It can be very, very scary. Like Justin said, if you have Ultimate Offering, the deck just really starts to go off from there. I think it could be he's not my brother, my real brother, he's adopted, or like probably the top of What Are You Doing, Step Bro? Just because it does, I think it has more accomplishments than Flamville and X Saber.
Yeah.
I think it should go in that category. I think.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It definitely could move up. I mean, like Justin said, this one really takes a good pilot to play that deck correctly. Okay, then we have, this is Kuraz, so I'm assuming this is like KFC, Kuraz Field Control, so like Gear Town, Ancient Gear, Gagilotron Dragon, all of those guys. I kind of feel like this is probably in What Are You Doing, Step Bro as well.
Yeah, I don't really feel like the deck's done like enough to like justify putting it any higher.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Justin?
It's one of those weird decks that's like underexplored. I think Karaz is a very good card. Like you have the Ancient Gear builds. It's really good for Gear Town. I feel like it's still like, what are you doing, Step Bro?
Yeah.
I feel like the deck is just like, isn't Karaz played a Monster Mash too, or am I thinking of?
I don't know a lot about Monster Mash. It could be, I'm not sure. I know like his primary use is for just simply destroying Gear Town.
Yeah.
Getting the draw and then getting your dragon out. So I think that that's a good category for it. Neuralis. I hate playing against this deck. I think this deck is definitely he's not my real brother. He's adopted.
I don't know. I think the deck is. Are we talking the Norlaris build that has like Sirocco and Vayu in it?
Um, I guess
I feel like-
so. I just know it's like Neuralis, Phantom of Chaos, all that stuff. If maybe they're on Vayu now.
I think we need to look at what we put Dragon Turbo in and come back and revisit that.
You want to put
Um,
Neuralis at the end?
Yeah, because I feel like it's on the same page as Dragon Turbo. Like if you draw really good and set your grave up, like you're just not going to lose. If you can establish Phantom of Chaos with Norlaris and
Yeah,
have like a Vayu engrave, then you're just not going to lose that game.
yeah. Okay.
So
We have zombie plants. I didn't make this tier list. For everyone watching, this was a tier list. It literally says Edison Format 2023 tier list maker. So someone else made this. I've never heard of zombie plants, so I feel like
I
this is
have.
probably what are you doing, Step Bro? You've heard of it?
Zombie Plants. Yes, I used to play it for a little bit. It plays like Twilight Rose Knight. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Okay.
And it uses like Mark of the Rose. You just like using your like the zombie engine's really good with the plant engine. Because Ryko sort of like helps establish both.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's better than Flamvell zombies, but it's not the optimal zombie build. Like instant zombies and things like that are a lot better.
Okay.
But overall, like I think he's not my real brother. He's adopted just because the zombie engine's powerful, the plant engine's powerful.
Okay.
But sometimes you can like get those bricky hands, but you can get some really cool synchro plays with Twilight Rose Knight and like Goblin Zombie and stuff. Um, so I don't know. I think the deck is pretty fun.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. Butcher, you have any thoughts on zombie plant?
I feel like he's at the very bottom of he's not my real brother. He's adopted.
That's
Yeah.
where I put it.
I feel like it's just too inconsistent is the problem. Like you're too dedicated to your summon and you got too much going on and there's potential to brick pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Because you have your Twilight Rose Knight, but then you also have like your Lone Fires, and then you also have like your Goblin Zombie sets and Zombie Masters. It's a lot of normal summons in the deck, and you have to sort of commit to like, are you going to focus on the plant engine and like establish that this turn? You're going to focus on the zombie engine. It takes a little bit for it to start rolling.
Yeah. Okay. What about Mausoleum Frogs? So this was pretty popular for a little while. This is like Mausoleum of the Emperor, Gear Town, Light and Darkness Dragon. So you're just doing like play Gear Town, put Mausoleum over it, summon Gadgetron Dragon, and then flip over Mausoleum, summon Lad. So it's pretty powerful, and once again it's a frog deck, so it's got a lot going for it.
I feel like it's got to be like middle of the road again. Like I feel like it can really like steal some games, catch people off guard, but it's also really bricky. It's one of the first decks I tried whenever I started playing, and I mean it can pop off, but it can also just lose to itself pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like no frog decks are probably going to be below he's not my real brother, he's adopted, just because of the power of the frog engine. So I think that's a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay, Recruiter Fairies. So this is Nova Summoner, Angel, Shining Angel, DD Warrior Lady, Dialk, that variant.
Is it just me, or do y'all feel like this deck has really just took a step back in 2024?
I think it's been on the back foot for a while. I don't think the deck is necessarily bad. It's one of the few decks of the format that actually just has like a really, really good Blackwing matchup, but it does struggle against a lot of the other decks.
I mean, I feel like it's middle of the tier, maybe like high end middle of the tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Like Christie is still a really good card. DD Warrior Lady's still a really good card, but I feel like with Vayu Turbo being the best deck in the format, like any kind of recruiter deck just takes a hurting.
Yeah. Okay. What about Chaos Fairies? This was like popularized by Carpath.
I feel like it's a step below Recruiter Fairies.
Yeah. Like Caius is really good. Onrise just takes too much setup. And Chaos Sorcerer being at 1 really hurts the deck too.
Yeah, every time I tried to play it, I found the Enrise took way too much setup just to be a Chaos Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Chaos Sorcerer itself is a really good card. I didn't actually realize just how strong Sorcerer was till I started playing Twilight, but it definitely can't carry the back of the whole deck. Okay, Synchro Cat. This is like the original Synchro Cat with like the Gravekeeper Spy engine.
I think it needs to be lower middle tier. Sorry.
Oh no, you're going.
You saying something, Butcher?
I was gonna say that. I mean, I feel like the deck has like fell off so hard from original Edison format or 2010 that I feel like people just forget about it, and the
I'm gonna
game
put it. I'm gonna put it above Zombie Plant.
Yeah, I think it goes above that. It can still like make some powerful plays and stuff, but
yeah, it's definitely a deck that is super dependent on drawing its one of Rescue Cat because that's where all of your power comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, Prisma Test Tiger Gladiator Beasts.
I think it goes like below bruh.
Below bruh? I'll make a category just for this.
I'm joking.
The deck has actually picked up in popularity a lot as of lately.
I mean, I just feel like it has like really good game ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm probably going to put this deck at the top of He's Not My Real Brother, He's Adopted.
I agree with that.
I think that it is a really good deck. People hate to play against it. It definitely struggles with like Blackwing and Hero Beat, which are unfortunately two of the best decks in the format. But, you know, I think the deck is a lot better than most people give it credit for. Okay, Hero Frog. This one's definitely bro, this deck is gas, without question.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of the 3 decks that belong in that category.
Yeah, you have everything good about heroes and everything good about monarchs and everything good about frogs all in one deck. The deck flows together very well, has a lot of power plays. It can play very differently depending on the situation, and it's probably my favorite like S tier deck personally. Big fan of that one. Okay, Quick Draw. This is, you know, 2010 Jeff Jones, good old Quick Draw. I think this deck is at the bottom of What Are You Doing, Step Bro, personally.
I agree. I mean, during its time, you know, I mean, it was very good, very innovative, caught a lot of people off guard, but the game's evolved so much that it's not even really a threat. Like, nobody really cares or minds playing it anymore. And, I mean, I remember picking the deck up when I first started playing because, you know, that was the deck back then, and it's just not.
As long as Blackwings are like a good deck in Edison, which they'll always be a good deck in Edison, Quick Draw just suffers.
Yeah, and Amaryllis is the plant deck of Edison. Like, it's the deck that actually gets to take full advantage of like all of those cards. Lone Fire, Dandelion, Titanial, even goes a step further now with Miracle Fertilizer. It just does what Quick Draw does much better. So, unfortunate. I do love Quick Draw. Drill Warrior is a really cool card, but yeah. Okay, this one's a little strange. We have like Gladiator Beast with Dimensional Prison, and this is probably the build that doesn't play Test Tiger. It's like more of the stun build. I think the ceiling of it, Dimensional Fissure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think this one has a significantly lower ceiling than like the Prisma Test Tiger build.
I completely agree with that.
Because you're just trying to play the beatdown game against like other beatdown, and like you still struggle to get over Shura even when D-Fissure's on the field and you're safe from Kalut because like your biggest guy is 1800. So I think this one is like, What Are You Doing, Step Bro? Maybe the top of What Are You Doing, Step Bro, just because it's still Glad Beast, but what do you guys think?
I agree with that for right now. I think that's a good place to put it in.
Yeah. Thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. That's probably where most of the stun decks belong, let's be honest. Okay, Hero Beat with Skill Drain. I think this is your cooking, bro, honestly. If
Yeah,
it's not your cooking, then it's like the top of he's not my real brother, he's adopted.
I think it's your cooking, bro. I mean, I feel like it's probably the best stun deck that you can play.
Yeah.
Super consistent. It has, a really good Blackwing matchup, a really good value matchup. It can really just lock people out of the game and really struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the few decks of the format that really gets to take advantage of skill drain and kind of push it to its limit. So I can agree with that. Okay. I'm not going to categorize this one until we have a discussion about it, but how do we feel about Dragon Turbo?
I don't think you can put it in, bro. This deck is gas because you can't put a deck in that category that loses to itself 40% of the time. I feel like just on brickiness.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely your cooking, bro, and it could be right there with Amaryllis. Like, I think it may even be a step above Amaryllis, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Justin? We were actually talking about Dragon Turbo earlier today.
Dragon Turbo is, it's going to sound really crazy, but like in real life, I just don't think the deck is great. When it starts popping off, it's really good, but I think it's still like, I don't know, man. It's just weird because like I think that Trap Dragons is just a better version of the deck, just because it can play like battle traps and things like that. But I've never seen anybody take Dragon Turbo to an in real life event. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but personally, all the big ones we've been to, Dragon Turbo just hasn't performed. And we all know the algorithm on DB is different than in real life, but I still think it's deserving of like your cooking, bro. Maybe on the low end of that.
Yeah.
Because it does take a good pilot to know when to play your cards in that deck.
Right. Yeah. I can agree with that. I think it's like neck and neck with Amaryllis. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, this one is I don't know why there's so many of these on here. Gladiator Beast with Burden of the Mighty. Didn't really even know this was a variant, but
100 attack for every card or something like that.
Yep.
Everything in the grid.
Yeah, I think that this is significantly better than Dimensional Fissure Glads. I think that Burden of the Mighty is a really good card in that deck. Just being able to like chop things down to where your Glads can actually attack over things. I think it's still What Are You Doing, Step Bro, but I think it's probably at the top.
I could see that.
Yeah, I still think like if you're not playing Prisma Test Tiger, you're not playing the right build, but what do you think? What do you guys think? You good with that?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Okay, cool. All right, next we have Lightsworn. Pure, regular old, just summon JD, nuke the field, Lightsworn.
I think it's at the lower end of your cooking, bro.
Okay.
I still think it's very explosive. I think that like it doesn't take nearly as good of a pilot as something like Dragon Turbo does. It's a very good gateway deck for people trying to get into the format. And I think that if your opponent doesn't have the right cards, I think it rewards you very well. It's one of those decks that like high risk plays, if they go through, rewards you very well, more than any other deck.
You can definitely do things like heavy storm the field, charge, hit multiple wolves, and just blow your opponent out super early. It's the most aggressive build of Lightsworn, but the caveat to that is it's kind of like the most inconsistent and can be underpowered at times.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Butcher?
I think it's like he's not my real brother. He's adopted, but I think it's at the top for that. I don't think it's your cooking, bro, because I think other Lightsworn variants belong in that spot.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's probably top of the pack at C tier, though. Like, I mean, it can be really explosive, but I don't think it's the right way to play, or not say the right way, but what most people play.
Yeah.
I still feel like Christius is probably a little bit more popular and not as explosive, but it can control the game and just really like lock your opponent out.
I'm going to keep this one at the bottom of your cooking, bro. And I think it's kind of like, I think it's in between your cooking, bro, and he's not my real brother, he's adopted. It does have those days where like if you sit down and it's just your day, you will just high roll people out of the game entirely. in a way that sometimes a deck like Christia Sworn really doesn't. But I definitely agree with both of you guys on your what you think about that for sure. Okay, next up we have Diva Zombie. This is like Deep Sea Diva, Goblin Zombie with Destiny Hero Malicious.
I don't think it's the best way to play zombies. I feel like that's probably middle tier at best. I feel like just Insta Zombies and Ultimate Offering Zombies are a lot better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think the instant zombies are really insane.
I think regular Diva Heroes is better too.
I probably have to put this underneath Gladiator Beast because GBs should beat zombies most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the list we have Christia Sworn.
I feel like this is just probably the best way right now to play Lightsworn. I definitely feel like it's your cooking, bro. The deck can just steal games with Christia. It can blow your opponent out of the water with a Lightsworn engine, and it can be scary to play against, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. You have a lot of games where sometimes you just draw those hands where it wasn't even close. JD nuke the field, summon Christia, and the game is just immediately over. I personally feel like the deck is better than Dragon Turbo is, but I think that they're kind of like one and the same. I think that they both have their problems, they both have their checks and balances, but they're definitely good. I mean, I definitely think they belong in your cooking, bro, for sure. I think that Christia Sworn can play more of a grind game than Dragon Turbo does, though, because you can play with like your little guys and kind of float along, where Turbo kind of, if it doesn't take off, then you're just kind of stuck at the starting line.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
Okay. Diva Frog. We haven't really seen much out of this one in quite some time.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I think Diva Frog is just somewhere. It's just the worst hero frog. I think it's somewhere at like maybe the middle end of like he's not my real brother, he's adopted.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing. I feel like anything that has the frog engine has to be C tier or better.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go wrong with the frog engine. It kind of just makes decks good by itself. So I can agree with that. The next one requires no discussion. Value Turbo. It's the first slot, and bro, this deck is gas for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anything belongs in front of it. I mean, the success story is there. We all know what it does.
Yeah, it's basically it's won more events than anything, within the last year. So I mean, I think it's definitely the best deck. It's the deck to beat.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay, regular Black Wings.
I still think it's gas.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like based on results, it's the second best deck.
Honestly. Would you say this is above Hero Frogs?
I think so. Just based on results.
It definitely is 100% when they have Black Whirlwind. Maybe if they don't open Whirlwind, then it's not, but kind of hard to say. But I think I can definitely agree putting it in like second place of bro, this deck is gas.
Yeah, no, I think that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Okay. Welly Dad, Telekinetic Power Well, Krebins, Zombies. This picked up a lot of steam in like 2022, the early parts of 2023, but I don't really see much from it anymore.
I think it's at the lower end of your cooking, bro. I think that
Power
Well is just a very explosive card. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right, I can agree with that. What do you think, Butcher?
I could see that, or I could see it being, top. He's not adopted. I mean, it has explosive play, but it can also lose to a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, GBs can just blow it out of the water.
Yeah, we are ranking it higher than Glad Beast, though. Do you think it should be below Glad Beast, kind of near Diva Zombie?
I think so personally, because I just don't feel like it's the best way to play zombies. Even though I know it's not really zombies, but it's
Yeah.
just it's very dependent on its explosive plays, and if you just get locked out, it can be really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, we have the Swedish Black Wings. This is like pure Black Wing, but it does play Dark Grepher and like multiple values.
I think it's your cooking, bro. I feel like it's maybe a little underexplored, maybe a little underplayed on what you can do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I still feel like it's cooking. Still the Blackwing engine. It's still, the Blackwing deck at hard. It can pump out values a little bit fast. I mean, um, sorry, a little bit faster, but
Yeah. I'm never personally like a huge fan of this one. I kind of feel like I would either want to pick Value Turbo or just pick pure Blackwing. But there for a while, this was the most popular build of Blackwing. So, I mean, I definitely think it belongs in your cooking, bro.
yeah.
Okay. Twilight, Rose Knight, Gigaplant plants. I think this kind of went along with what Justin was talking about with zombies. I haven't really seen much out of this in a while. I think it's What Are You Doing, Step Bro?
Yeah,
Probably with next to Quick Draw.
I haven't seen that deck in a very long time.
Me either. I think it's one of those decks that just really loses to like Royal Oppression.
Yeah.
Have we
Okay.
put, bro?
What was that?
Have we put anything in, bro?
Nothing has went in bruh yet, but there are definitely a few coming up that are definitely going straight to bruh.
Okay.
Okay, we have Disaster Dragon. So Mass Dragon, Darkness Metal, all of these cards. I think this deck is actually low-key really good.
I feel like it's either he's not my real brother, he's adopted, top of the line, or it's at the bottom of your cooking, bro.
And which deck is this again?
Disaster Dragon. Or Hopeless Dragon. I think it's just called Disaster Dragon.
Yeah. I think the fact it can play D-Prison bottomless, I think it's just a real it's a really good recruiter deck. I think it's better than Fairy Recruiter.
I'm gonna put it above Pure Lightsworn because I feel like it beats that deck because of Drago specifically, and it's just like hyper aggressive playstyle. But yeah, I think it's definitely your cooking, bro. That's a deck that really can just float along off Mass Dragons, hit you with like Exploder Dragons, kind of just draw out the game, and then eventually, like when you have a couple Darkness Metals in your hand, you just end the game immediately. Okay, Gadget Stun. I'm putting this in dog water. I'm sorry if you're a Gadget fan.
Yeah. Not normal summons and not enough power plays, really.
Yeah, too many normal summons, and like the thing about it is like it has Banisher with green gadget, so I know it's like some kind of gadget stun. If Banisher was 1900 attack, that card would actually be so good, but that 1600 stat line just makes it lose to everything.
Yeah.
Like it would actually be a good card against Vayu, but they just summon Grepher and immediately run it over. So I've never been a huge fan of Banisher. And you can just draw really bad hands, like multiple gadgets, multiple banishers. So, okay, Diva Hero Beat. We haven't seen a lot out of this one lately, but I do believe during War League, the first season of War League, it had like the most wins. It was definitely the most popular for a while.
I think it's better than the Skill Drain Hero Beat.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think it's in the top of your cooking, bro. I'm going to put it right behind Dragon Turbo. Yeah, I was a big fan of that list. I think that just being able to get into your extra deck kind of helped out Hero Beat a lot. Okay, a Volcanic Quick Draw. I think it's somewhere kind of in the middle of What Are You Doing, Step Bro. I don't think it's terrible. It's definitely better than regular Quick Draw, but I mean, every deck is better than regular Quick Draw. But if you do get paired up against like a lot of hamster Raikou decks, this is very good into those cards. Thoughts?
Nah, I think you hit it right on the spot, honestly, with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it definitely doesn't deserve to go any higher, I think. Okay, this one is Diva Zombie, but I'm assuming this is just with divas, like they're not playing the hero engine, and I feel like it's probably in the same area as the other zombie decks that we listed, but probably above the Welly Dad.
I feel like this is the ultimate offering zombies because of the diva.
You know, we can say that this is Ultimate Offering or Instant Fusion. Like, I think that those are just better ways to play it than the old ways.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is either like the best or the second best way. I feel like Instant Fusion zombies may be the best, and Ultimate Offering zombies may be the second best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ultimate Offering, it's bad against it's bad against MST. Like whereas like that's gonna sound dumb, but like Instant Fusion and Reaper of the Nightmare is just like a really, really good combo. And the fact that like you can recur Reaper, because it counts as being fusion summon, is just really good. It's like playing 2 Spirit Reaper in your deck.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have to establish Ultimate Offering, and like Illblood's a really good card, but I just don't think that it matches up to what Instant Fusion zombies can offer.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Okay, Machina Gadgets. Very popular historically, not quite so popular these days.
I mean, I feel like he's not my real brother; he's adopted.
That's kind of
Maybe
what I was thinking.
maybe like towards the upper part of it, but I mean, it's still the Gadget engine. It's still consistent, but it's definitely not the best way to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it above Synchro Cat and Plant Zombie Plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Gravekeeper. I think this is definitely what are you doing, Step Bro?
Yeah, no, I agree. Necro Valley's just worded really bad in this format. It doesn't do a lot. There was a guy out in Cali that was like killing it with the deck for a little bit. I don't know if y'all remember that back in beginning of the year, but it just doesn't really do anything. It's
Yeah.
not enough. It doesn't have recruiter. It has its distinct power play. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very dependent on resolving very good royal tributes in this format, even more so than Tengu format. So I think it's still above like X Saber and Quick Draw, but it's probably not really where you want to be at.
No, yeah, I agree.
Solidarity Black Wings. I think this is unnecessary to put into Black Wings personally.
It's just to win more. It's just a brick, really.
Yeah, I think that you're sacrificing Dark Arm Dragon for Solidarity, and I just think that your deck just runs over everything as it is.
Yeah, it's super unnecessary. I mean,
I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of your cooking, bro, just because it's still Black Wings. But I just don't think it's the right way to play Black Wings. I don't think Black Wings, their playstyle needs to be like explored or expanded on. I think everyone knows it's like the same 35 cards in every list. Okay, this is Solidarity Gadgets. Somehow I think that this is still dog water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that good, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, this one is Krebens and Destiny Hero Malicious.
I think this Welladad, and the other one was what's the to play the quick something psychic? E-Telly or Telezombies, I think was the first one.
Okay, so we can probably just put this right there with the other zombie decks then.
Yeah, I think this is the Welladad, and the other one was the Telezombies.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I missed out on that. Yep. Okay, Quick Draw Hero. This was Joshua Schmidt's Quick Draw deck. I think it's probably the best quote unquote way to play Quick Draw, but unfortunately it is still Quick Draw.
Yeah, I don't think it's really.
I'm gonna put it above Flamvel because I do think you're playing the hero engine, but I still think it's what are you doing, Step Bro? About halfway down.
Yeah.
Okay. Hamster Raikou Caius Machina. This deck is incredibly scary.
It is. This is Machina Turbo, technically, right?
Yeah. This is like it plays Lilas, it plays Hamster Raikou, Caius, all of those.
I feel like this deck by the end of the year will be a top 5 deck. I've been running into it a lot. It's super strong.
Yeah.
The value almost. I mean, everything they do, you just do better, and they just cannot deal with the fortress. It's so hard for them.
Yeah, I think it's like somewhere in the top of your cooking, bro. I don't know exactly where to place it amongst these, but it's before Hero, Diva Hero Beat, somewhere up in there.
Yeah, no, I
I'm gonna
agree with
put it
that.
like right in the middle because it's definitely there. It's like probably riding the line actually between like this and the deck is gas. I mean, I agree with you. I think by the end of the year, it's very strong. Okay, Frog Monarch.
A deck that just it's lost popularity as time goes on, but
I still
it's
think it's consistent. Like I still think it's like in the upper middle tier.
yeah,
I
I
do
agree.
too. This deck, kind of similar to Machina, has an excellent matchup against Vayu Turbo because of triple Caius and triple Ryza. You just never let them ladder their cards. I think it's the best frog deck that's not Hero Frogs.
Yeah, I could see it being in your cooking, bro, at the very bottom.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going to put it above Solidarity Gadgets, though. Or Solidarity Black Wings, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely there. It's like, it's somewhere in here. I don't know if it deserves to be at basically the bottom, but it's somewhere in your cooking, bro. I think the deck is very good.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is hilarious. Six Samurai.
Bro,
Can we
that
go?
thing is dog water.
It's
Yeah,
bottom
can we
of
go?
dog water, bro. We put it
Well,
there last time.
I mean, it doesn't do anything. Like it has cute plays, but I mean, Gateway just doesn't really do anything. It's not super busted. You can't loop it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
United,
a
you get the two,
it's
but
a
what do
very
you
high roll kind of strategy, and if you're gonna play high roll, you should just play Dragon Turbo or Lightsworn.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a play where they just set up and you're like, oh, I'm scared, or oh, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah,
Like,
most of their strategy is like just having like Gateway, United, and just drawing and searching a lot of cards. But like the deck literally gets FTK'd by Book of Moon on its first summon,
yeah, I
and
mean,
you
like,
just can't do
no big
anything.
arc line, there's no Shein, there's no nothing that you're just scared of. Like, you don't
Yeah,
care if free Gateway. Like, you don't care.
yeah. The deck can't even access the extra deck, which is definitely rough for it. Okay, the last one we have on here is Neuralis, and that was the one that we chose to kind of skip past and discuss later.
I feel like it's scary if you're playing like the value engine. I've run into it, and I mean, the deck can make you salty, especially whenever they do their loop. They have two or three values in the grave with Sirocco's. You know, they just plus one off the and then they just drop three of the armed wings on you, and just it's frustrating.
It is very frustrating. I think it's in your cooking, bro, but I don't think it's better than Frog Monarch, personally.
I agree with that. I mean, I feel like it's fell out of contention. It's almost a deck that I forgot about,
Yeah,
but for a while I was running into it. You know, every so many games.
yeah. Okay, so that's every deck we had. So I'm going to quickly go over them in their respective categories, and we'll see if we want to make any last minute changes. So in Bro, this deck is gas. We have Vayu Turbo, Standard Black Wings, and Hero Frogs. We could basically all agree on that, right? That's
They're the
you'd kind
three
of be
best.
crazy to question that. Okay. In your cooking, bro, we have Swedish Black Wings, Amaryllis, Christia Sworn, Dragon Turbo, Hamster Raiko Caius, Machina. People are calling I think it's Machina Control or something. But anyway, that deck, Diva Hero Beat, Skill Drain Hero Beat, Disaster Dragon, Pure Light Sworn, Frog Monarch, Neuralis Turbo, and Blackwing Solidarity. Anything we should change there? You guys pretty set on that?
I feel like Blackwing Solidarity should go down a tier.
Yeah.
I
I just
want to
don't
put it
think
below Black Wings just because I think it's just such a terrible way. Put it below Gladiator Beast because I think it's just such a terrible way to play Black Wings.
you basically lock yourself out with the extra deck. Like you can't make anything other than Armor Masters or Armed Wings because you lock
Yeah,
yourself solidarities. And I tried playing it for a while, and it's just not good. You just lock yourself out. You can't play Dark Arm. You can't access your extra deck.
yeah. You're basically just making your deck worse, I think.
You
Like,
play side deck cards like Thunder King or Crows, or I mean, you play Crow actually, but you can't play anything else besides that.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, In He's Not My Real Brother, He's Adopted, we have Prisma Gladiator Beasts, Blackwing Solidarity, Diva Zombie. Then we have like the E-Telly Zombie, Diva Zombie with Malicious, Welly Dad, Recruiter Fairies, Chaos Fairies, Diva Frog, Mausoleum Frog, Chain Burn, Fish OTK, Machina Gadgets, Synchro Cat, and Zombie Plant. Anything you guys think should go up or down? Hopefully nothing goes up.
I feel like that's good. I feel like we've missed a deck in this list though, and I just kind of thought about it, and that's Insta Zombies. I don't
Yeah.
feel like we discussed that. And I was thinking it goes your cooking, bro.
Yeah, Insta Zombies, I think, do go in your cooking row. Not really sure why it's on this list, why it's not on this list.
Yeah,
But
we're also missing the rock deck too.
yeah, the Rock Stun deck. I think that's probably
You're cooking, bro.
your cooking bro, but maybe towards the bottom. I think it is good though.
I think it's better than the regular Dark Gaia deck.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's something that is like gained popularity too that we forgot about. And Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight isn't on here. I think that Twilight is actually better than Christia Sworn. If I were to rank it myself, I would put it above Christia Sworn. The deck just has so many ways to play the game.
And I think it's also because just the increasing popularity of like Vayu. Like,
Yeah.
Christie is good, but it's not good against Raikou. And
Yeah.
the fact that you can just like, you have like Celestia is such a really good card. Chaos Sorcerer is a really good card. Banish like their Armed Wings, things like that. Like
when I was
the deck's
testing
just
it,
really explosive.
there are a lot of games where you'll literally go like Chaos Sorcerer, bait out back row, drop JD, nuke, summon Dark Armed. Like you can just do some really crazy things. So yeah, Twilight should definitely be on this list somewhere. Definitely in your cooking, bro. And I think it's in the top of it for sure. The crazy part about it is like if you had asked me that a few months ago, I would have been probably like at the bottom of He's Not My Brother, He's Adopted. But I do think that the standardized build of Twilight has actually made me change my mind on it. I think it's a much better deck than it was.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing, Step Bro? We have Burden of the Mighty Glad Beasts at the top, followed by Stun Glad Beasts, Gemini, Hero Quick Draw, Flamvel, Volcanic Quick Draw, Gravekeepers, X-Saber, KFC, Gigaplant, Twilight Rose Knight plants, and regular Quick Draw. I almost feel like I want to put regular Quick Draw down in dog water.
I mean, the deck, when it pops off, like, it's not bad. It's just like, it has a good grind game. It just doesn't have a win con.
Yeah.
Like, Highest is the win con of the deck, and there's better decks that do that.
Its win con is like summon Titanial with Drill Warrior. And it's just, it's a chore to summon Titanial on that deck as it is, because you only play one. And the only way you have to actually summon it is Lone Fire. I mean, we can leave it in the very bottom of what are you doing, Step Bro, just for old time's sake, I suppose. Okay, and bro, that's Dog Water, Solidarity Gadgets, Gadget Stun, and Six Samurai.
I feel like Six Samurai to be like bumped down to even lower.
Yeah, I know. I want to put it like literally all the way down here. I just realized too at the bottom of this, there's an option for you to add images to your tier list. So I'm probably going to take advantage of that next time and add some other things like Twilight and Instant Fusion Zombies. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think we're pretty spot on with this, honestly.
No, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I mean, I feel like anything besides like the C tier is like irrelevant in Edison, really.
Yeah.
I feel like first tiers, it's pretty good after that.
I want to make one of these in the future and rank like individual cards in their respective categories. And I feel like that would be pretty fun. So we would rank cards like Kalut, Honest, Brionac, cards like that. So I think that'll be the next tier list that we do. I think that'll be pretty fun to do.
I think
Maybe
that
like
would be
a
awesome.
tier list of power cards of the format, I suppose.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get on that one. Okay, guys. Well, this is your updated tier list for May 2024. And this is Mike, Austin, and Justin from the Edison Club signing out until the next one.